So I will start like I always start. What is polyamory to you?
Polyamory is the incorporation of individuals in a ethically non-monogamous lifestyle that may or may not include sex, but is definitely rich with emotion and people.
Rich with emotion and people.
Yes,
Yeah, that's like that's how you view it.
sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
And how are you introduced to polyamory?
I was introduced about, I say it was a year after I got married. My husband says he
Hmm.
told me beforehand. However, I would not have agreed to marrying a man that was non monogamous.
Wait a minute.
Right? He told me about a year after we got married that he does not believe in monogamy and that he would like for the opportunity, should it ever arise, to be able to explore sensuality and sexuality with other people
Hmm.
without the fear of repercussion of the other partner being bitterly jealous and angry and wanting to leave.
So
And then I got bitterly angry and jealous
jealous,
and wanted to
wanted to leave. Yeah,
leave.
you proceeded to do just that. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man. So all right, I'm gonna plug in my computer. Keep talking. So how did how did you miss that, or how did he think he portrayed that message to you before you were married?
That's a good question. It's we've been married for 10 years,
Uh huh.
so going that far back in our memory banks is pretty rough.
Woo. Okay, this is good. Okay. Married 10 years,
Poly for 8.
probably for 8. So for the first 2 years, was there any talk of that?
For the first 7 months, well, I should say, let's see. So we were married in August of '05. We moved in together October of '05 because I lived in
Hmm.
New Jersey. He was in upstate New York in the Army.
Hmm.
And then he was deployed January of '06. So then he was gone for 7 months. So for 7 months of our first year of marriage, we
Hmm.
didn't talk about anything.
Hmm.
And then it was probably, yeah, within that second year of our marriage that we started referencing it and we started bringing it up. And then we started as swingers.
Okay. So how did he say it to you the first time?
Essentially, what I just mentioned that he doesn't believe in monogamy.
He like sat you down one day.
I think
Did
it
it
was
come
just,
up casually?
yeah, I'm going to say it was a casual conversation. He might have been flirting with somebody online at the time.
Hmm.
And in my head, I was thinking, okay, I can handle this. What he's referring to, I was like, you don't mean right now, right? And he's like, no, I don't mean right now. So I'm like, so you're talking later in life? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I'm thinking, okay, I can do this. He means like when we're 40 and 50 and he's having a midlife crisis. I can handle that. Yeah.
Right.
No.
He didn't mean that far.
No, he meant like 25, 26.
Hmm.
So
Okay. So you took that sort of well? You think you took
I
it
took
well?
it pretty poorly.
Pretty poorly.
Pretty poorly.
Describe poorly.
I remember being angry. I remember feeling betrayed. Um, Actually, let me rewind. Initially, I took it okay because again, I thought he meant more midlife crisis, not in the imminent future. Um, when it did come up eventually, I took it pretty poorly. I was very insecure about myself. I was always strictly monogamous, although I was always the cheater. Um, as long as I wasn't caught.
Hmm.
Which I never was. But anyway, I digress. It wasn't until there were more acts involved that I finally started getting a little bit better.
Hmm.
Um,
So I want to go back to, you said angry and what?
Bitter,
Bitter.
betrayed.
Yes. How did all that show up? Like if I saw you being angry, bitter, and betrayed,
Passive aggressiveness, most likely.
you'd talk to him like really passive aggressively.
Most likely. I'd be like, no, you're
Examples.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever.
Talking about that situation, talking
Yes.
about being poly.
Yeah.
So he would say like, "Hey, I met this person," or
The first time he actually wanted to do solo, it was, hey, I have a girl. She's interested in sucking my dick. Um, does
"She's
this
interested."
offend you? Yes, she's interested. Does this offend you? Is it okay? Would you mind? And I'm like, and I remember responding in text message, and I'm like, whatever, do what you will. Um, and then I remember sitting there with my phone, and I'm shaking, and I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't know if I can handle this.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't recall if she did or if she didn't. I think she came and met him, and they did end up fooling around. But I don't remember. That was 8 years ago, 7 years ago. Yeah, 2007, I believe.
Okay. So that was like the first time. So you said you felt betrayed. Were there any fights? Did you guys ever fight about it?
Later, as things started progressing and he started seeing, not really seeing more people, but just kind of expressing more interest in potentially seeing other people, spending more time, like this is back when Adult Friend Finder was really popular. So he was talking to people, and again, we started off as swingers. So when we were together and we started off together, it was okay. It was comfortable because I knew he was right there with me, and I wasn't about to lose him. So in my head, I'm thinking, I'm going to lose him. He's going to meet somebody, and the marriage is done.
Right.
He's going to leave. So yeah.
Huh. No, it's interesting. We had the same transition. Went from swingers to.
Yeah, we did
poly.
swingers, open, and then poly. So I say I've been poly open for 8 years. We opened the relationship in 2008. 2007 we started swinging.
Okay, and so how did you guys decide on swinging?
I think good question. I was probably really drunk and stoned at the time. I know I was stoned.
Many decisions.
I know I smoked a lot back then. I think he, adult friend finder, I'm going to say that. He met a couple and they seemed to be along our same mindset. They smoked. We went over their house. We drank wine and smoked pot. Got to know each other. And we kept going back before we actually partook in anything sexual.
So you guys hung out?
We hung out
a number of times first?
Yeah, we became friends. And then when we finally did get down to the sexual business, the wife saw the husband with me, flipped her shit, went in the bathroom, didn't come out for about 20 minutes, and things got really awkward after that, and we never saw them again.
Oh, man, really?
Yeah. So that was
their first time?
That was their first time with a couple. And again, we'd been hanging out probably 3 months, about once a week for 3 months, getting to know them and just chilling out. Like, there were times where we all fooled around and, like, made out and, fingered and oral sex, but for getting down to the actual sexual act.
And, like, separating, so, like...
And it was all of us all in the same room. Yeah, he was with me and my husband was with her.
And that was the first time that's happened?
That was the first time that happened. That was the only time that happened, actually.
Like, you said you fool around, though, so, like... When you fool around, fingers, oral, you said?
Yep, oral.
Was that like...
Everything was fine. Everybody was comfortable. Everybody felt
Even
fine.
with the switching, then?
Even with the switching.
Okay.
And then, like, being girls as we are, you would have the three of us on one. So, the girls, we got the attention. I'll call her C. He was J. So you'd have my husband, J, and myself on her, Of course, if we're getting our shit going. Oh, why not? So
you're into girls?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I consider myself pansexual.
Pansexual, awesome.
I'm into anybody that has a personality and is beautiful. So.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I wish I could do that. I think I can do that. I just don't know. I'm trying to be gayer.
You're trying to be gayer?
I'm trying to be gayer. Okay. I've been on this mission for like a year or so now.
How's it working out?
There are levels of gayness.
Just
and I'm just trying to see, like, where is that level? I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, hey, more power to you.
I'm working on it. Everyone's like,
know
what?
How that works.
Yeah. Most awkward conversation I've ever had in my life is with me and another straight dude talking about how gay we want to be. And if we were, we'd be gay for each other.
Oh.
But we weren't, so it couldn't happen. So we just high-fived, like, all right, man. Good job.
Interesting.
Very weird. Very weird. Anyway. Let's see. Let me go to my questions real quick. No, let me see. So that was the last time you saw them. No, you never reached out to them?
I did, and I started emailing him, the husband, because when I emailed her, she wouldn't respond to anything. So Jay was very kind and considerate, and we still had a friendship going afterwards. I tried to maintain a friendship. C decided that she was not fit for the scene, and J stated that C wanted her to, or she wanted to have just a female in the relationship, um,
What?
instead of having a husband and or a couple. They just wanted
Oh,
to have threesomes instead of.
okay.
So, yeah.
Hmm.
Just I don't know. I don't know if she wasn't into my husband or if she was having issues watching her husband or what. But it was right when we started fucking that she left.
Wow.
Oh,
I think that has something to do with
probably.
it. All the other questions right when the fucking started. So,
Yeah.
man, I remember our first time actually hooking up with a couple. Wait, was that? Yeah, that was the first time. At a swinger, like we hung out with swingers for like 2 months, just fool around with each other though,
Mm-hmm.
and we were like, all right, we're gonna do this. Did it? Everything's cool until we switched sides. Like she went to that bed with him, and I was in the bed with the wife, and I was hard for about 20 seconds, and
I've
then that was
noticed
it.
that is a problem.
I was like,
It's very
huh.
common.
I wasn't like disturbed. It wasn't like I was freaking out. It was just never. This is an image I've never seen before, and it was totally threw me off.
Interesting.
And I was like, all right, I don't know what's going on here. So,
I have witnessed that with my own husband. He had lost momentum before, and it's like it's not that I'm not turned on,
mhm.
just a different, like you say, a different scenery.
Totally different. It's like I've never seen this before. Like, what's going on over there?
I know, and the way porn portrays it, everybody's dicks are hard and everybody's happy.
Everyone's ready to go all
Absolutely,
the time.
ginseng, you know.
Yeah, that was not the case. 20 seconds tops, and that was it for the rest of the night.
Interesting.
Hmm. So, cool. So that didn't work out. What?
No, we found other couples too. They were successful, and then after a while, it just got boring, and everybody moved on with their lives, and then yeah, and then
How did you switch from swinging to being open?
so
Oh, that's when
we
he asked
did.
about the girl, I guess. That
Yeah, I
one.
was gonna say we did swinging first, and then he asked about the girl. That I believe he met her on Craigslist, um, and she was beautiful. He showed me a picture of her. She was like this, almost like Amazonian, tall black woman, medium skinned, and she just had this like angular face. And I'm just looking at her, and my husband loves black women. And I'm just looking at her. I'm like, that's it. He's gonna leave me for her, and it's over. So here comes my insecurity, and so yeah. So they met, and they became really good friends. He ended up becoming more of a mentor than anything sexual with her, and she used to constantly beg him for stuff. So then I kind of allow. It was more like immersion. Like, okay, he's going out with her. They're gonna hang out. I'm not gonna ask any questions. Let it evolve as it evolves, and we'll see where it goes from there. Um, and then in 2009, we had a 420 party, and I had to work the next day. I had to be up at 6 o'clock and work at 6:30, so I didn't partake. So everybody was upstairs getting high and having fun, and there was about 10 people over, and there was a girl who my husband met through school, who he had invited, and they ended up clicking. My husband's best friend was there as well, and my husband's best friend told me the next day that he was all over her on the couch, and she was all over him, and like kissing all over his neck and all over his face, and that my husband was petting her and whatnot. And I lost my shit. I went into a rage, and I'm like, our relationship's a joke to you, isn't it? I don't mean anything to you. Fuck you. I don't want you in my life. I took off my wedding ring. I threw it at him.
Oh man, the classic scene.
Yeah, absolutely. The classic scene. And then I come to find out it was a lie.
What?
But I didn't find out for a while. It took about 2 months before I learned that it was a lie.
2 months.
2 months. My husband defended himself, but I'm not going to listen to him because I'm in a classic jealous rage, and completely irrational. And eventually I started to listen to him, and then finally he talked to his best friend. He had stopped talking to his best friend after this incident, and wasn't telling me that it was a lie, wasn't defending himself, but wasn't also, taking on the stance that, this didn't happen either. But he did say, yeah, I do like the girl. Yeah, I was sitting next to her. We had good conversation and whatnot. But yeah, it turns out that his best friend was extremely jealous of me, that I took his best friend away.
What?
Yet this guy lived out in Cuba. So
The friend lived in Cuba.
he lived in Cuba. So, but it's my fault because I married him. But he
Is your
was
husband Cuban?
no Cuba, Missouri.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Okay.
I used to say the same thing.
Cuba. Like, whoa.
I know. Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. That would be even worse. Um. So yeah. So he it turned out to be this huge jealousy thing. So yeah. So we had separated, and so he started dating this girl, and he used to go over her house all the time. So he wasn't home because whenever he was home, I wanted to kill him. Um.
Mm-hmm.
And so then there were times that he would come back in the middle of the night, and I would come out in the living room in the morning, and there they would be laying underneath the blankets that were piled on the floor, and I would just get angry. Um, but it was with this immersion that kind of started to trigger my brain thinking, okay, it doesn't matter, we're separated anyway. What am I getting angry about?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then eventually she ended up being an 18-year-old kid anyway. So, you know how 18-year-old girls go, no offense to any 18-year-olds. They're quite unsure with their lives and they're a little psychotic. And she showed that color and they stopped dating. And we rekindled our relationship. I ended up getting pregnant and that's when everything changed. My pregnancy hormones took away 98% of my jealousy.
Really?
Yes.
How is that?
I don't know. That's a very amazing question.